Let's get going then. I think that's everybody. So, quick reminder of where we are because we cut off in the middle of the last session. You guys are traveling through, heading up to High Rock. Castle in the distance. What you guys saw is the surrounding countryside appears to be abandoned, while the walls appear to have been heavily garrisoned. While you guys were enjoying the beautiful view that I had crafted for you guys here today, all the animals everywhere, they showed up and they started trying to eat people, like just some giant rudes, and we're currently fighting those animals. So allow me to reintroduce where we are. Sure, since I've adopted an R accent, it's night, and currently your guys' 2 lanes, 4 and 5, are illuminated by light, as is lane 2. We're starting at the beginning of the initiative order. Victor is staggered. Kanara is stealthed, as is Katya. I'm not sure why I have medals down as CHA. Chameleon. I don't know why I used CHA to abbreviate chameleon, but I did. I guess it's the first 3 letters of chameleon, so meh. I should have used CLM or CML, but I digress. That's where we are. Zolf, we will be starting with you, and I'll take actions from both you and Victor. Health damage that's been done to wolves, bears, and spriggans is noted below, with one of the spriggans being staggered. Or Liz for lizard. Power attack on the bear, go for it. I'm getting character stats pulled up right now for myself. Speaking of character stats, I need dice. Shocky lightning chain thingy. So you're going to be able to hit... You've got to hit adjacent lanes, so you would only hit one with chain lightning. Just FYI. Well, you could still hit it if it rolls poorly. Wolf Spriggan, they have a separation of lanes. Rolls a 4 to defense against the power attack. They have a buff of 3, so that's a 7. What's your buff, Dragonborn? Let's check. You're using melee. Then fireball the Spriggans? Okay, I'll use the same attack roll. 7 versus 7. The Dragonborn, that is going to be a miss. See, bad start. I heard perfect start, because we're about to eat a vampire. I like eating vampires. They work great on a stick. Alright, so you had the staff out, Zolf. Even with those rolls, there's no way the Spriggans are going to be able to defend themselves. Your fireball hit. I'm just subtracting Magicka, dropping you down to 0 Magicka. We're going to update that to Ice Storm just because of his connection issues. I think he wasn't seeing the lanes properly. So we're going to have it hit 2 from each of them, in which case he's able to pick off 1, targeting here, here, and here. He's able to stagger the other 2 Spriggans and kill the 1. Medals, I'll take actions from you and Kanara. You're rallying Victor? Alright, +2/+2. Dropping to 4 Magicka. Kanara, Jirta's not with us at the moment. Roll 20 bears! How many bears did I roll? I'm gonna go ahead and roll up the defense for the bear once we get the attack roll in. Rolls a 2. Sadly, that is not enough, as I've got that's a even side of the die, a 9 defense on the bear. That said, you can go ahead and re-roll a stealth because you're using a bow. Rolls a 5, that is not enough to re-sneak, as the bear has a 19 to see you, or technically sense you, as animals have senses rather than just sight. Better chance to slice their arms off. Today, I'm going to use Restoration if we get into another tussle. Walks. I'll take actions from you, and I will take actions from Katya, who is stealthed amidst the bears. Do be aware, our ranged row currently has 3 wolves engaged with them. Are all those wolves in 1 lane? Yes. The same lane as our party. Fireball will hit the entirety of the party as well, as Fireball is an uncontrolled lane AoE. Yeah, there we go. Never mind. It's just worth remembering because we're jumping into the middle. Chain lightning. Chain lightning is for hitting things in different rows. So you're not going to be able to hit them with chain lightning. If I understand the spell correctly. I'd have to go back and reread it, which I'm doing right now. But I believe the way I designed it was that chain lightning was for hitting things in multiple lanes. 3 enemies in adjacent lanes. Alright, and then we've got Katya stabbing a bear twice. In other words, it would need a creature here or here to arc onto. Ice Storm. Ice Storm works. You can hit the wolves, nothing, and then a bear and a Spriggan. Or 2 bears. That is a relatively good roll. Let me go ahead and roll up their defense. 2 bears. Got it. So the wolves fail to defend. The bear fails to defend. However, worth noting, they are resistant to frost. So even though hit, they are only taking 2 points of damage. The wolves, however, are both staggered. Alright, Katya, I did see your attacks. Let me go ahead and roll up the defense on those. I'm just processing things in order. They get 1 defense roll, so that is a hit. So that is going to take 1 hit, and you're attacking from stealth. So while the bear is just kind of head down, taking the brunt of the icy wall that's washing over it, you very quickly walk up, crack it to force the neck over further with the pommel of your sword, and then just take the dagger, and you're able to go straight into its head, pierces through its hide, and it kills the bear. Your stealth is revealed. Bear kebabs. So the remaining bear, odd, Victor, even, Katya, goes for Katya. So rolling up a bear power attack, you can choose either to defend yourself with or without stamina. Because two-handed or dual-wielding can use stamina. I'm gonna get me a bearskin cloak. And then while we wait on Katya's defensive roll, we'll go ahead and take the 3 wolves, and Zolth, Kanara, and walks. 14. So yes, uses a point of stamina. You are able to successfully parry the blow from the bear, kind of just moving its attack just off mere inches, allowing it to pass off to the side as it attempts to knock you to the ground. The wolves both decide to fight, though it appears they didn't really put any thought into it, i.e. they appear to be being controlled. Zolth, I'll need a defense roll from you, as well as a defense roll from Kanara, and walks. Bruh. Just rolls the 2, gets bit. Takes 2 points of damage, you're at 0. Kanara, fails defense, takes 2 points of damage, you are now at 5. Kartoffel rolls a 1 for defense, takes 2 points of damage, you are at 1 health. Wolves are just ripping through the party. Rigged! The 2 remaining Spriggans, one of them turns to Katya, and you just see it buzzing as a horde of insects advances on your position. You can roll a d10 for your defense, but your weapons are of no help as it's a magical attack. Then the second Spriggan is going to do the same to Victor. So Victor, I need a defense from you as well. Wizza getting slaughtered. No, you guys haven't rolled higher than a 5 when it matters. Because we got a 7 here, but if you have a +5 to your defense, that defends. So let's double check your defense score. Total of 2 without using the melee. It's higher than a 5. It is still a hit, though. And that's going to do 4 points of damage, which includes 1 point of poison. So you are dropped to 3 hit points. Victor, roll your defense. Oh wait, no, you rolled a 4. Never mind. You got hit. Victor is down for the count. As that drops him, it would normally do 4 points of damage, but 1 of that is poison. He's immune to poison. So it's only 3, but he only has 2 hit points remaining. You will now need to be taken to a settlement to rest up. We don't have Kayleen with us at the moment. Zolth, you're back up. It's a rigged day. Brooke's just rigging it. Just being like, yes, I have programmed their rolls to not roll higher than a 7. And this is why I don't like buffing. That buff was wasted on Victor. Yeah. Victor squishy. You have no magicka remaining, Zolf. FYI. Equilibrium 1 health. That does stagger you. but you're still in the fight at 0. Your tricks didn't work on me. I've got to have one person who's favored for the fight, and you're my favorite person today, apparently. Kayleen's just gonna F up all these animals. Metals, you're up. And I will also take actions from Kanara. There's the 1 bear, the 3 wolves, and the 2 staggered Spriggans. Roll a d20 on a Spriggan. Pulls back the bow, releases, drops it. Soul Trap Wolf. Got it? Walks, you are up, and I will also take actions from Katya. Use the Spriggan for kindling. The Khajiit will win the day. All the kitties. You guys think it was me, it was actually Urist who rigged it. Urist is letting all the kitties doing it. Going for the next bear? Go for it. Those are 2 misses. Apparently I lied. Candace is my favorite today. Go play the lottery, Kim. No, she plays the, if she plays the lottery now, she'll be 1 number off on each of the numbers. It'll be like 6, 12, we'll just use a 3 number one, 6, 12, 19, and she'll have guessed 7, 13, and 20. Like, so close, but so far away. That said, the bear that finished up Dragonborn is now turning to go for you. Using a power attack, it rolls its attack. Well, no, that usually has a partial payout, Dragonborn. We need no payout, no payoff. 100% sadness. And while we wait on Katya's defense, with or without stamina, that's going to be a hit. The bear does 4 points of damage, which is going to stagger you. Come back, Pink Dice. I need you. Our first loss better not be to nature. Surprise! Alright, Zolf, Kanara, and Walks. I need a defense from each of you. So a 4, a 5 attack, a 3 attack, and a crit on Kanara. You are not staggered at the moment, no. So Kanara takes 2, goes to 3 hit points remaining. Because the bear hit you, Kim. Hit Kartoffel, knocking him out of the fight temporarily, obviously until you're back at a city. Walks has a successful defense, using stamina. You don't have a weapon to use a stamina defense. You need a weapon or a shield. Well, I guess you could use a stamina defense with a dagger. You can block with a dagger. Yeah, never mind. Carry on. I'm wrong, you're right. Yes, you had been hit once last week as well. Or no, you were hit by the Spriggan, which did 4, and then you were hit by the bear, which did 4. Oh, and I lied. You are staggered. I don't know why I didn't write that down, because you were at 0. Poison right now is just an extra point of damage. The Spriggan is going to attempt to attack Metals, but it is... Let me double check what the Chameleon spell does. Okay. I need you to roll me a stealth check versus the perception check of the Spriggan. They have a 12. You are able to roll a d10, as we don't have it. It's basically a d10 or a d20 if you're skilled in it. Rolls 1 on a d10. Alright, the Spriggan fires off a magical attack. Want to buy Kayleen. No, we're screwed, it's rigged. It's all rigged. It's as rigged as that Fark is cleaning the mirror. With my dying breath, I plead to Ariel to save us. You've got 3 of the enemies staggered. There's the bear, the 3 wolves, and 1 Spriggan. Of those, 2 of the wolves are already staggered, and the Spriggan is already staggered, so any hit kills them. Anything with the ST under it is staggered. I am awaiting Pimley's defense when you get the opportunity. But that bear is on steroids. Rolls a 9. All good. Not sufficient, so you are going to go to staggered, as its attack does 4 damage. I'm gonna put a Chameleon down here, because Chameleon's still up, it's just the Spriggan can attack you. Alright, back to the beginning. Metals, you're up. Candace is the only non-staggered party member at this point in time. Stay and fight, rallying Katya. Alright. Remainder of your magic being spent on a rally for Katya. Katya, you have 2 extra health and 2 extra stamina. Did the Nord pass out? He did. Candace, you are up, and I will also take actions from Walks. Cast Courage. Okay, you only had 2 Magicka. I just assumed I had miscounted, so I just went with it. Rolls 20 on Bear. Crit. Bye-bye, Bear. So you can't double Courage on a player. You can only have 1 buff. You can cast Courage on yourself. Is Rally and Courage allowed? No, only Rally would take effect. How much Magicka do I have? 5. Thought you said we couldn't cast... 1 second. You cannot cast Courage on yourself in-game. I was wrong on the lore there. Alright, so... I nerfed that one into the ground, Potato. Alright, so Ice Storm again. Firing off yet another burst of Magicka. Hitting the 2 or rolling against the 2 wolves and the Spriggan. Go ahead and roll your attack. It's a single attack that they will all defend against. Failure from Wolf 1. Failure from Wolf 2. And the Spriggan is a failure. As they were each staggered, killed with the Soul Trap, killed. 1 wolf remaining. Katya, you're up. Well, Dragonborn, you've got to understand. You're not allowed to do anything. Everyone else is allowed to do whatever they want. That's how the system works. Easy. And it mutates because it's rigged all day. I'm gonna move and beat up the puppy. Go ahead and roll. Now you can use a stamina point if you want. You have stamina and you can roll a d20 if you don't want to use a d10. I would encourage you to use the d20. Given that you have 4 points of stamina remaining. Just do it! Don't let your dreams... Yeah, don't let your memes be dreams, or something like that. I don't remember the exact quote. Oh, Palpatine do it? Do it. Well, there we go. 17 and a 20. First hit does 5. Second staggers the pupper. Second hit finishes the pupper off. See? Easy. The encounter is over. Health resets. Stamina resets. Magicka resets. Now I'm gonna go skin me that bear, get me that bear skin cloak. You have plenty of time as you guys spend time curing up your wounds. Metals' chameleon wears off and the lizard's skin turns back which I've never asked how your actual chameleon is doing, but turning back the color of your regular Argonian. The vista, previously marred by the colors of evil, returns to its placid self. Someone jerked me awake with a poke. Hang on, let me see. Yeah, it's not true. But I digress. As you guys are curing up your wounds, Hakon and Flavius arrive with the wagon. Upon seeing the 2 downed party members, with much thumping of heads, Zolth and Victor are loaded up into the wagon for transport into the city. Come daybreak, you continue on. And with that, you guys have arrived at... Let me find my name list. Evermore. Premier's southern city in High Rock. As you approach the gate, you can see that it is sealed and there are corpses of animals rotting around the entrance to the gate. And the gate itself shows heavy damage from claws, teeth, and improvised bludgeoning instruments. Upon seeing you, you can see that the guards that are up in the towers have their arrows loosely nooked. They're not drawn, but they're ready to draw and open fire as soon as any provocation were to come up. The guards, after having their weapons nooked, kind of looked at you. What do you want? City's sealed off. Meanwhile, you could hear just kind of commotion. The guards just kind of eyeing you up, but also scanning the surrounding hillside. We seek a tome. Metals, the Argonian, speaks up. We are harmless here. To use the beautiful insult just recently put out by Candace, you can hear faintly, so somewhere on the other side of the wall, there's a traitor and you're locking them out of the city? You turd wumpuses, let them in! The guards, yes sir! Sorry, sir. Orders were, sir, lock the cities. Open the gate! Yes, sir! And they begin, you can hear the clinking of chain as the portcullis is raised and the wooden gate is opened enough for your wagon to enter. You see a well-dressed, though clearly battle-hardened individual standing in front of you. He appears to be the captain of the guard. Apologize for the men. They're, on edge lately, given our events. As you're all there and the gate remains open, you see him turn back up to the guards. Now shut it! And, yes, sir! And then immediately you hear the portcullis just slam to the ground behind you. I see you have wounded, so you're aware of our predicament. Follow me. He leads you into the city, around a bend, and into what appears to be the guard area. With the medical attention that they're able to provide, those of you who are staggered and knocked out are brought back up, and you're able to continue moving on with your lives. So, Katya says, having some problem with the local wildlife. The Spriggans have been abnormally aggressive. It's not like them to try to encroach upon the city. We haven't had the men nor the willpower to send guards out to their deaths. Well, it's not entirely true. The first couple sorties we attempted to push back. The loss of life was such that we quickly decided that that was not advantageous. It appears that the local wildlife is acting with a tactical mindset, if you will. The kind of which we haven't seen since the Daedra roamed these hills. In short, they have a leader. This one, Katya speaks up, has dealt with a roving band of those pests. We were able to see from the walls. He gestures up toward a larger, I don't know what the next slide is. There we go, yeah. A larger building in the back. There's some long-distance viewers that the Mages Guild has on their roof we've used to spy upon the local countryside. We saw your engagement, and trust us, we were rooting for you. I'm glad that it worked out in your favor. The gates have been watched, and we were unable to muster the men in time to get out to help you. Bear in mind that your entire fight would have taken 5 to 10 minutes tops. And so you could tell that in all likelihood he's telling the truth, given that he was at the gate and apparently had the guards there. The other Khajiit, Kanara, speaks up. How long have these attacks been happening? I'd wager on 2 or 3 weeks now that we've been dealing with the local population of beasts. At least for the time being, they've ceased assaulting the gate. Once during one of our patrols attempting to head out, a fair number of the Spriggans had snuck in close to the walls, and our guards were not thoroughly diligent in checking it before they opened it. And they then had bears come rushing out of the woods to attempt to force them open. Did you wager on our side? Be honest. You see a coin purse hanging. I did. The Archmage didn't. Let's just say I'm getting extra drinks tonight. But enough of our problems. You're mercenaries. You obviously are looking for work. You're looking for a tome. So, being over here in the Fighters Guild area, you guys are going to walk around, leaving the wagon. Flavius, and Hacken to deal with that, being directed toward an inn. You guys are going to head up toward the Mages Guild. The captain of the guard is going to accompany you and give you the introduction needed to enter the building. Could use something strong also. If anyone wishes to head toward the tavern, they are welcome to right now. Anyone who wishes to meet with the mage, we will be doing that first. To the mage. Alright, those accompanying to the mage. So, we know him. You guys enter into the Mages Guild, and you see all sorts of trinkets around, large soul crystals, which might actually be behind my camera. We don't have a cat, so we'll hide cat cam. Haha, disembodied head. But large soul gems on platforms, and a master is moving about, appearing to tidy the place up. The guard captain, coming rigidly stiff. Master Grudor, the visitors. Apparently they're here to see you. He turns around, Storm Atronach, dissipating by his command. Ah, mercenaries. You've already cost me a pretty penny today, he chuckles. What is it I can do for you, and how is it that my studies bring you to me? That's one hefty soul gem. Can it host my ego? We have come to seek a particular tome of alteration. You guys already have the tome? Just quick backstory. You guys have the copy of the tome, and you're seeking to get it deciphered. This water bottle, the skin on it keeps sliding down. I've got to pull it up. There we go. We have come here to get this tome, Metals says, reaching into her pack. His pack. I actually don't know Metals' gender. Reaching into the Argonian's pack, pulling out a tome. We would like to get this deciphered. The mage, or the master, steps up, holds it, kind of looks at the title. Odd. Yes, this is as you say, an alteration tome. You see him just flipping through pages and then a couple more pages. This is esoteric in discussion and nature on the presence and detection of life, though it does appear to have copious amounts of study notes. To translate it would, he tries to figure out how to put his magical speak into your mundane mercenary terms. It doesn't so much need translated as applied. What would you be attempting to apply this research to? Or are you merely looking to sell it? I would pay to have this book in my collection. Well, it is not research we ourselves have done. I am aware. I also am aware of the origins of this book. I'm curious, though, as to why the Arcanum has one of its servants up here. He looks directly at Zolf. Is your Imperial University not sufficient to understand the intricacies of this text? You see him kind of getting on an air of superiority, and it becomes apparent that he is not all that fond of the Arcane University. Couple questions posed to him, all kind of getting at the point of, well, what applications necessarily stem from the data? Well, based on a surface level reading, it bears on the detection of life, and more correct, and likewise how to prevent the detection of life. Though it also deals with applying life essence into various, he tries to think, mortal shells. For example, you see him kind of conjure up a spell and he casts Detect Life. Notably, all in the party light up with the exception of Victor, to which he looks at Victor. Ah, I have no ill will toward vampires, but you will do as a wonderful test subject here. The example of which I'm going to present to you is, with this Detect Life, I am able to show off the life essences of all in the room. Thus, those who do not have life essences stand out like a sore thumb when you can see them. What this study would do is, potentially, with research, allow you to pretend as if it did affect you. He flips through a couple pages. It would take some time to perfect it, but in essence, it would look something like this. You see him kind of focus into a dual cast master level spell, and he casts what would arguably be a dual cast of Detect Life, but very briefly it kind of flickers, and it briefly illuminates all in the room with the inclusion of Victor. It would appear that this spell or these rituals could be used to either create an item or create a spell that would detect undead or would allow undead to pass a Detect Life search. So this research allows the undead to hide. He shakes his head. That would be one of the uses of this data, yes. Thank you, Conjuration Tutor, for showing us this example. He's an Alteration Tutor. Ignore this. This isn't here. but it was the best picture I had from Tessel. Because I didn't like the alteration guy. He should come with us so we can double our Atronach summons. Watch it all of ya. Could this research perhaps hide your essence from others? Theoretically, but it would require several other texts and studies that are not concluded within this text. Specifically, this text is about adding life essence to a shell that does not have it. Theoretically, there is work on the fringes of, I say on the fringes as it borders along conjuration, about removing life essence from creatures and possibly allowing them to persist as pseudo-vampiric people. However, there's never been serious studies on this that have had any results. Your text, handing it back over to you, over to Metals, is about the addition of life essence. So we could make the Nord look alive? Well, if it were that simple, I would be able to do it already. It would require a master of the art of alteration, and it would require substantial time to poke around and figure out the intricacies of how such a spell could be used without any negative side effects. So it would allow undead or Daedra to disguise themselves as living. You are correct. The implications seem worrying. I agree with your general representation of that, yes. I could turn this elf into a vampire and leave him here for your studies if you like. He shakes his head. It is this type of research that puts us down the path that led us to the Oblivion Crisis. Unrestrained access to magic and the seeking to do things that are outside of what nature would permit. There is safe study of magic, and that's all that will be practiced within these halls. I have no desire to delve into the research of this book. Though, I assure you, any who hold a copy of this and are able to make use of its secrets have vast amounts of power indeed. We could just leave the Nord here for you to experiment on. It'd cut down on the party smell, too. Now, in good faith, I would have a question of you, adventurers. The guard captain just kind of nods at him. We've had issues with the local wildlife, as you yourself have seen. Should you be able to be convinced with money appropriate to the task, I believe I have knowledge of where the leader of these beasts is holed up. It's in a local hillock, not far from here. I do not know why they would be seeking to assault this fortress, but I do believe that the beasts are being commanded, and should we be able to decapitate this leadership, it would solve the city's problems. While we can't muster our guardsmen for a assault that would have any chance of success, it's likely that a smaller, more heavily armed group such as yourselves would have success where we have failed. I am willing to discuss terms if you are interested in this. I could go for beheading someone. I'm down with this if everyone else is. Payday, okay, well, gotcha. Slows everyone down. What sort of, creature is it? He motions for you to follow him up to the top level of the building where you're able to look out. He has what is a primitive version of a telescope, and it's mounted up on a tripod for you guys to use in looking around the countryside. He points over to the hillock, and you can see that up at the top, the whole area has kind of been shrouded, but there are some campfires. Campfires. Creatures don't burn the woods on their own. Therefore, we are not dealing with a beast. However, there are more types of beasts than necessarily the natural ones we see. And what I strongly suspect is that we have a group of Forsworn that have come from the mountains and are being led by a Hagraven. They themselves value their lives too much to throw themselves against the wall. Therefore, they are attempting to turn the nature against us and drive us out. My belief is that they are setting up for an assault on the city. If they are assaulting the city, I have begun prepping my mages to defend it. However, if we could get in and remove the Hagraven, her intelligence that has been driving them would be removed, and the Forsworn would likely devolve into fighting amongst themselves as they do standardly. Hagraven's not going to be an easy target. However, I am willing to provide some supplies and a distraction to draw off the majority of their forces. By supplies, what he's meaning is he's going to pay you all half of your contract fee up front, and then you could use it to buy anyway. Any advice or additional info to help versus the Hagraven? He's not 100% familiar with Hagravens, as typically they're not seen this far outside of the area known as the Reach. However, what he is intending to do is he knows that the Hagraven is intelligent, and if he is able to put together a sizable portion of their forces, she will likely commit to destroying them in the open with the beasts. Doing so will pull off the majority of the beasts and Spriggans, and what you guys would be left to cut through is a small side force, and then any Forsworn that she keeps in the camp as guards. Then, instead of committing his forces to battle, he will then retreat them to the city in a fighting retreat to keep them engaged for as long as possible while minimizing his casualties. It is also possible, though unlikely, he says, that there would be a coven of Hagravens acting here. A coven in his mind would have been powerful enough to have already overtaken them, and so their limitation of power in the using of the beasts is what he is using as his argument for there being only one. Extra pay is extra pay. He nods, so you will take it. He takes you guys down off the roof, but instead of heading down to the main hall where you were previously, he nods off into what is the main hall, his office, that sort of spot. And he produces what is 2 tokens per person. 1 token per person for clear as a goodwill payment for clearing out the band you guys already fought, and 1 token as prepayment for anything that you will be fighting. Likewise, he then provides every single person in the party who will be participating on this mission 1 potion of invisibility. I'm divvying out payments right now to people on the sheet. And Dark Brotherhood pays out 1 extra, so Queen gets 1, Kim gets 1 extra. Are we allowed to shop? Yes. Anything as for the plan, that is all up to you. He just needs to know when he'll be firing up the distraction. The guard captain nods as they are working together with each other for this. The sneak that won't wear off? Exactly. Oh, for loot on the animals, you guys were able to collect a total of 2 materials and 2 ingredients. And all the meat. Oh, yes. Candy also gets it. I forgot you were Dark Brotherhood as well. There is a lot of meat available in the city, given that what you guys have been fighting is the same as they've been fighting. And also on my sheet, Candy, you were at the bottom, so I didn't get to you till later. There's our order. But you got your bonus token. Drop the bearskin off to be cured and turned into a cloak, you got it. So with that said, you guys are staying in the town as guests of the town, guests of Evermore. +1 buff, it's going to be steel, correct? Yes. You have guessed correctly. So you guys head over to the Anchor Point Inn to spend your time in Evermore, drinking and enjoying the local hospitality. Beautiful paintings of the bridge, the clamor of people all around. The guard captain accompanies you this far and informs that you are here on behalf of the city and that all of your expenses will be covered while you are present. Hackett and Flavius are also here. Are we allowed 2 staves? Yes, but then you can't cast anything because you don't have any hands free. And once you're in combat, switching a weapon requires your action. So if you want to put away a destruction staff and then take out, say, an alteration staff, that's your turn. We do need to feast up for another battle. Yes, so you guys are able to have all of the food, drink you want, and the remainder of our session is going to be strategizing for the next session. Figuring out how you guys want to approach and getting info from me. How do I get my hands on a staff? You just say what you want to purchase. Robes, what you need for robes is the light armor skill when you're leveling your character up. And the way you purchase a staff is go over to the gear. Basically, we use the same skill weapons cost here, and it gives you whatever that bonus is. So you pay 1 for a 1 level staff, you get a 1 level bonus staff, etc. Doesn't provide a damage bonus, but you do get the skill bonus to it. Bearlight might be a little gamey, but it's very filling. They spend the extra time taking the meat that you guys have brought in and preparing it. So it takes a little bit to get some food, but you're able to get food that you yourselves have killed. Under the character gear sheet, your tokens are there. You yourself have 10. Will my bearskin count as a bonus to my light robe? No, I do not have a system for that at the moment. Right now, it's just cosmetics. There will not be a level up after this session, as you guys are getting close to where I need your level cap to be, and now that you guys have some cool abilities, we're going to level up every other session. Because I need to flesh out this area for the playtest, as we figure out exactly how it gets balanced. I need that level up. That is okay, it will look grand. I was going to unlock Drain and Seduction. You'll level up after the next session. A level 4 Destruction Staff? Cool. Let me move this over here so I can have a separate tab open where I check the gear costs. So ironically, there's a level 3 and there's a level 5. You probably meant the level 5 one, because you ignore the damage side. You're always welcome to switch your stats up, Dragonborn, if you need to. So, how are you guys, before we get into all the purchasing and all, in bulk, how do you guys want to approach the Hagraven? Functionally, it's wooded from here to there, and your options are going to be either walking down the main road that heads that direction, which I would not recommend. Do we have a map of the area? No. We've just got the 3 options. The second option is going to be the easiest option for traversing the terrain. In other words, there won't be a terrain encounter. And you guys are going to try to basically work your way through the woods stealthily to get to where you're going. And then the third option is going to involve a terrain encounter, and it's going up the backside of the cliff. Because you're accepting a terrain encounter, basically you're going to be able to bypass all the guards. So you don't have to deal with people, you have to deal with rocks and nature trying to kill you. Turn into the mist to go back up easy. Backside. Do a scouting first. So attempt to scout and see what you would be fighting if you were going up one way. You are welcome to do a scout round, and we could do that today if you wanted to. Now bear in mind, invisibility only makes you invisible to eyesight. It does not deal with the senses of animals. So Kim, 1 vote on a stealth run first, just to scout everything out. Second vote for a scout run. Alright, so who is taking part in the scout run? Are we going to send Victor and his melee beastiness in as a scout? This sounds like a terrible idea, but it is still an idea. I am here to report that I found 3 Spriggans, 2 bears, and 5 wolves. And I'm dead, because I found 3 Spriggans, 2 bears, and 5 wolves. If just the sneaky sneaks go, we won't need invisibility. That is fair. Because if you use your potions for the scout run, you do not have them for later. So looking at just the 2 sneakies, let me check who has our stealth points for the party. That's going to be Kanara, Jirta not here, Alduin has limited, and then Katya. Just send the 2 Khajiit, and we excel at not being seen, unless the dice are extra mean. So the way we're going to do a stealth encounter is it's a push your luck encounter. And that is, you're going to be rolling stealth for each additional new bit of information you want to try to get, and each increasing check is going to get harder and harder. Well, that is true. You would be able to use Muffle, and that could get you in, because Muffle allows you to pass your stealth checks automatically. But you're going to go ahead and stay in? Got it. Stefan? He would have to use Muffle on you for each check, and he'd have to roll himself. Sneaky tank, it's literally in Skyrim when you're sneaking up on someone with a big old greatsword, and you're like, I'm Stealthy. Please, Nord, just stay, eat, and drink. I'll cast Muffle at them at the start. I will let you do that to allow them to auto-pass their first check. At which point you would then head back and they head out. Yes, perfect. All right. So, night comes and the stealth run is a go. The two kitties, with their night vision, both get to the gate. The guard's been briefed that you're allowed to go out. Very quickly, walks in darkness, mutters an incantation, and with the wave of his hand, just rolling that as your first roll, got it. Just a muttered incantation and the enchantments roll over both of you. Leaving the town, you are certain that none of the lookouts saw you depart. Have someone monitoring from the telescope. The remainder of the party has set up on top of the wizard's tower and is monitoring. We're gonna... I didn't do slides for this because I'll admit it. You've outsmarted me. I didn't anticipate a scout run. Yeah, we'll use this one. So, you've descended and were able to get away, and you begin heading around the cliff toward the soft approach. Your first stealth attempt, what you see is that the path is guarded. You may attempt, it is a group stealth check. In other words, because there's two of you and you're both rolling, that's not two chances to fail. That's you're both helping each other to succeed. So like if a little bit of a noise is made, someone could throw something off another way to just kind of make it sound like there's animals out and about and otherwise mask sense or distract people. So, that said, do you wish to continue on? Well, no duh. Well, that's the thing is we've got to get further up. What the muffle did, I'll give you a little background for how I set up the encounter, is there was a chance they saw you leaving, which was going to make all of your chances harder to do. And so by auto-passing that, you've made all of the checks easier. Yes. All right. I've already got Candace's roll. So, Kim, I will take your roll as you're approaching. So go ahead and roll up your stealth. It's going to be a d20. Spoiler alert, you could pass with a nat 1, but we're just going to get in the habit of rolling. Rolls a d20, gets a 5. So the first, it's going to go up by 2 every time you push your luck. Or sorry, up by 4 every time you push your luck. For the first check, the two of you combined needed to roll a 10. You have succeeded. So, you guys identify the patrol up ahead, and you begin to advance. Upon advancing, you're able to see that this is just the first line of observation. Getting up on a small hill while remaining concealed, Kadara, up on a separate hill, you're able to look out and you can see that there's just the average patrol of wolves moving through, foxes and other small beasts, mostly being used as a tripwire to detect any incursion. I can do that for you, Dragonborn. Do you wish to continue pushing your luck and investigate the second line of defense? If so, I need you both to roll a stealth check with d20s. Combined, you will need to get a 14. Alright, go ahead and roll up. We have a crit. So automatically, you guys are able to scan, see the patterns, double crit. You know what? That calls for a special. You guys have auto-passed not only that one, but the next one as well. So I'm advancing you 2 lines because, yeah, double crit. You can't not reward a double crit. So, you guys, upon beginning to sneak in, you find a back path. A path that you guys would be able to use later on as well, should you choose to go this way. And bypassing the unwatched path, you're able to get up to the third line of defense. This is near where the campfires are. What you're able to see is that there are some Forsworn moving about. The second line of defense that you guys bypassed with the path, so looking backwards, you guys are able to see that that's where their heavy hitters are. Bears, large cats, panthers, bobcats, all of those appear to be set up almost in regimented camps, as if they were being held in reserve for a large battle. The Forsworn, even though there's the line of defenses outside them, appear to have some form of heavy guard. Your next check, should you choose to do it, would be to sneak inside their camp to the Hag-Ravens area. Combined, you guys would need to hit a 26 with your rolls. An average of 13 per person. Or, you can leave with the info you have. It's a push your luck. Average of 13 sounds risky. Bear in mind they each have a +6, so on the dice it needs to be a 7 each. But yes, there is at least a solid chance of failure here. Of course, Dragonborn, push the luck. Push it. The two cats kind of looking over and realizing what danger they would be in had they revealed themselves here, kind of nod to each other and utilizing the path located, return back to the city. Upon seeing the cats return from the Mage's Tower back here, the party is dispatched to the wall, and ropes are lowered that the cats are able to scramble up on. I just have to see. Oh, you did a good job. You backed out at the right time. And a 7. Yeah, you guys would have failed. Kim would have done what she needed, but Candace knew it wasn't going to be good. She would have done something terrible. She would have just had one of those kitty sneezing fits where just... And of course that sneezing fit hits as she returns to the wall, thus letting her know that it would have been a very terrible time to be a kitty in the middle of a camp of hostiles. You guys are able to relate to the party everything you saw. What you would expect is if you guys were able to sneak past the first line, you would then have to fight a large nature encounter, and then you would get to... Ooh, excuse me. Choke on a bug. Yeah, I'm choking on something. Then, after the nature encounter, you would then have an encounter with the Forsworn and the Hag-Raven. Whereas if you go the back route, you guys have to deal with the cliff, but then you have to fight with the Hag-Raven and the Forsworn, because you didn't give us a level up today. Based on that info, sneaking around back is the best you're thinking you're going to do? Fair enough. Fill in the guards what awaits them, just to confirm, shore up any info they have via telescopes. You're able to give rough estimates of the force they would be facing and the regimental or appearing regimental makeup of the animals. They nod and note that they'll be on the lookout for the fast movers moving around the flank and attempting to separate them from the city. They're going to adjust their strategy and keep the mages on the walls rather than in their rear, so they can attempt to cover any fallback that they need. So all in favor of sneak. I think literally everyone has been in favor of back sneaking. Any spells or tactics that would help you. In terms of spells, you'll have to figure that out. I mean, certain things like jump and mobility spells will be useful, as they'll help you solve any of the nature encounters you're coming across. But that's all the details I'm willing to give out from a mechanical standpoint. Still no kite. I am a sad. Alright, I'll turn into a mist. Somebody summon fog, and then I'll just float through it. Note, you are not invisible while you're in mist. You are still an ominous approaching mist that people will attack with magic. But I'll blend in with the fog. Ah, yes. White fog, ominous black mist with glowing eyes approaching. Could we purchase rope for us to help? I am going to assume you have basic climbing gear that will be provided to you. So we're not going to nitpick what you guys have versus what you don't. If there's a piece of assumed climbing gear that you guys would want, you'll be assumed to have it on the day that we're going through it. Within the realm of things you can carry. So no large ladders, but basic climbing stuff, yes. Rope, grappling hook, pythons, hammer. Though you're not going to be wanting to make some noise, so python and hammer might not be good. We're going to let all of China know we're here. Wonderful Mulan reference. But then in terms of what the remainder of the party is doing, Hacken, he brought a bunch of goods to trade to help fund the continued support he gives the party. So he's going to be doing trading for the day. Flavius will be accompanying him, just as you never know when a merchant could get robbed, so it's always good to have someone in armor who knows how to hold a sword. Also, he would remark that there's a reason he's in the intelligence division and no longer within the fighting division. Again, kind of grimacing with his face. He's seen enough of his share of fighting. So that said, any other questions, and or is there any other info you would like from me or any of the in-game characters for your mission? What you can expect from a nature encounter is that there's going to be various natural objects that you're going to need to all overcome. They will be done as group checks, and we'll be treating it as an actual encounter. Health, stamina, magicka. So you'll be expected to be using all of those and be tracking them during the encounter. Just, you're going to be using them to overcome challenges. And or help others overcome challenges. 2 times XP? No. But otherwise, we got through that. I guess I should have added a little bit more on the end. We got through that quicker than usual because we didn't have all the beginning stuff. Due to this being 10.2. So Big Nord uses Big Muscle to smash falling rocks, or if worst comes to worst, turned into mist and let falling rocks fall on Elf. Slow fall if anyone falls. There are going to be options for both magical casters and for melee people. Therefore, I would advise you, well, you're going to have both, but it'll be good. You guys finished off the animals, and now you guys are going to be doing an infiltration mission to take out the hag raven that is controlling them. But, till then, take care. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see everyone around.